Welcome aboard, explorers. I'm Captain Phillip Whiskers, and today you'll face 50 picture-packed questions from around the world. Can you spot the right one? Let the travel quiz begin, and don't forget to subscribe for more adventures. Which of these images is the Colosseum in Rome? Which of these maps is the map of Brazil? Which of these is the Statue of Liberty in the United States? Which of these images shows the Sahara Desert? Which of these lakes is Lake Baikal in Russia? Which of these bridges is Tower Bridge in London? Which of these shows the Great Wall of China? Which of these buildings is Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the tallest in the world? Which of these islands belongs to the Maldives? Which of these is Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany? Which of these landmarks is Mount Fuji? Which of these rivers is the Amazon River? Which of these waterfalls is Iguazu Falls? Which of these buildings is the Sydney Opera House? Which of these cities is Amsterdam in Netherlands? Which of these statues is Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro? Which of these islands belongs to Hawaii? Which of these buildings is the Tower of Pisa in Italy? Which of these roads is the Champs-Élysées in Paris? Which of these deserts is Antarctica? Which of these dishes is sushi? Which of these festivals is the Carnival of Rio de Janeiro? Which of these outfits is a kimono, traditional in Japan? Which of these cities is New York City? Which of these markets is the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul? Enjoying the challenge? Give it a like, share it with your crew and tell us how many you got right. It truly helps the channel soar. Which of these traditional dances is flamenco? Which of these landmarks is Petra? Which of these paintings was created by Vincent van Gogh? Which of these celebrations is the Chinese New Year? Which of these dishes is paella? Which of these islands is Santorini? Which of these temples is Angkor Wat in Cambodia? Which of these dishes is poutine, traditional in Canada? Which of these cities is Bangkok? Which of these parades is the Oktoberfest in Germany? Which of these bridges is the Golden Gate Bridge? Which of these landscapes is the Grand Canyon? Which of these structures is the Sydney Harbour Bridge? Which of these masks is from the Dia de los Muertos in Mexico? Which of these music festivals is Tomorrowland? Which of these museums is the Louvre? Which of these sports is the most popular in Brazil? Which of these pyramids is in Mexico? Which of these cities is Dubai? Which of these palaces is the Buckingham Palace? Which of these traditional dishes is from Mexico? Which of these rivers is the Danube River? Which of these cities hosts the famous Cherry Blossom Festival? Which of these volcanoes is Mount Vesuvius? Which of these landmarks is located in India?